Welcome to the code review for the Deribit Trading System project. This project is configured and well managed into a file structure that is as modular as possible. Everything is defined in a well defined file structure so that if you want to delete a feature or add a feature, everything is modular. For example, if you want to delete a particular feature, it won't break the whole system. Keeping that in mind, the modularity also brings in reusing the components in other feature extension. So this is how the project structure looks like. The header files are divided into include and particular folder name and the header file, and the source file contains all the C++ implementation that is derived from the header files, and the main file is responsible for the main call of the overall system. So let's go into the code review. Uh, this is the main function that is initiated if we call the tool. So this main functional goes into a while loop till the user exits or cancels the program. So we are getting the input using the readline library to mimic the command line interface. Before that, we are creating a WebSocket endpoint which has WebSocket metadata and it is connection metadata and connection endpoint classes which are necessary for storing and communicating with the server. And this is entirely client server architecture. So the metadata contains the information regarding the connection ID and the status of the connection and the URI which we are trying to connect with. And it has various other helper function, that is get ID and record data. The record summary contains all the uh, operation that will be performing, and it will save the uh, client server communication message details. And it has on open, on fail and close for creating the connection. On open, on fail, if we are creating a connection with the server, on open is called, and this is handling the failure, and on closing the connection. And on message is responsible for getting the response. It it has both the implementation of single JSON dump and continuous JSON dump, that is the streaming of data in real time. It will check whether the received data is a single dump or it is a subscription, that is streaming of data, that is it checks from streaming. So if it is a streaming of data, it will calls uh, stream subscription function, which is responsible for continuous stream of data. This will continuously send message and get the response and console log into the terminal. And this is the latency report I will talk about in latency report implementation. And we have this is responsible for non-blocking implementation, that is prevent busy waiting and restore terminal settings. This is responsible for uh, console logging the JSON tab without again printing the thing again and again, so that we will receive a single input and the terminal is not scrolled. That it is uh, the default behavior is prevented. And we have other functions, helper function, and this is the WebSocket endpoint class which inherits WebSocket metadata, that is connection metadata class. This connection endpoint have other class like to connect and authorize and close the connection and send message, other implementation which is required for client server communication. So for generic commands, all the generic commands are hard coded. The quit, help, connect function depends upon the endpoint stuff, so it is hard coded here. And other generic messages are hard coded, and commands which are specific to the API calls, which involves API calls. For example, if I want to place order that requires a API call, those commands are specified in Deribit and ID. So if we detect Deribit, the ID and respective commands are stored and passed through the API class which have process command. So let me go into the API implementation. The API implementation has the process which process the respective command with the function. It involves in mapping the command with the function calling of the API. This allows us to run the command. For example, if we run Deribit 0 get order ID, it will call the API's implementation of get order ID function. Here are various functions which are defined for this purpose. This is authorized function, and the cell function is defined with proper prompting and parsing of data and checking the data validity and error logging and console logging anything which is incorrect. And by this we can see the check the validation of the user input before sending into the server. And here there is latency report to measure the latency of the order management and market data. The buy sell have the latency report specific to the market, and market implementation, that is information retrieval feature like get open orders, order book, those will have latency report tracker as market. Yeah. So all the functions are implemented in a well-structured way and respective JSON is dumped. Uh, the API will form a JSON document based upon the user, and it will dump to the send feature that is implemented in the endpoint. That endpoint will send the JSON document, and it will receive the JSON document and pass it according to the on message implementation in the connection metadata class. So all the functions are well defined. Everything passes a JSON document except these three functions: subscribe, unsubscribe, and unsubscribe all. Because it is a continuous stream, all the things are stored in an array, and that array is passed when view stream function is called. When view stream function is called, when view stream that calls the stream subscription function. One minute. Yeah, that calls the same subscription function passing the array of subscription. This allows the streaming of data. This is the API implementation and WebSocket implementation. And authentication as a C++ file for password management. That is the management of access token and storing client ID and server client's secret. The client access token is stored in the terminal or environment variable if you pass the dash save option. Else it will be prompting you to enter the access token for every command. And the utils files contains all the helper functions which are required by other classes. Uh, it also implements other basic functionalities like get terminal ID, print header, and print manual to improve the user experience and user interface. And it also have the helper function to get signature and converting basic things, and for console logging anything in a prettier format that is color coded. And it also implements get password and various stuff. And it also implements that key blocking standard input to non-blocking thing. This functionality is implemented for detecting the queue character to quit the stream, continuous stream. This is as far as C utils concerned. And the latency tracker implements latency tracker class, which has the start measurement and stop measurement to track the time taken to process the request. And it also has a generate report function to print the report and calculate various other metrics like getting the min max and various other percentile. And it uses a single thread to track the to perform the latency tracking. It also helps in printing the latency report. This is a tracker is concerned. And this is the overall code review of our project. Coming to the future advancement, as we can see that in the Deribit API documentation, there are uh, various others method which we haven't implemented yet. So the future announcement will be implementing all the feature and making it a full-fledged command line tool. For now, it is pretty basic as far as a command line tool is concerned, and it should have better functionality as well, better passing the errors and validating the user input. Another future enhancement is memory management. My implementation have multiple classes and objects which has uh, a bit poor memory management, which can be optimized for better purposes. My implementation also stores the uh, pointer of the connection and point in the connection metadata, which overall increases the memory usage of our system. And we can also improve the performance of this by less depending upon libraries and use of threading concept and parallel processing concept in our project. This is future implementation and future upgrade is concerned. Uh, as far as code review, this is it. If you have any questions, let me know in the response as well. Thank you.